Hey there, my name is Letsolo and I'm so excited to join me today. For quite some time, I've been thinking about introducing this aspect of finance to the channel. If you have been rocking with me, you know that we've been doing topics on self-development, on the Word of God and everything. But you know what? I just had to pause for a moment and say, you have experience in this area, you have a kind of expertise in this area. Why not just introduce it to the channel and be able to give out to your audience? And this is why we are doing this today. So basically this video is all about having to give you a roadmap of what we're going to talk about, and if you are interested in watching, keep on watching. Now, I'm in the field of accounting and finance. What does it take for somebody to be an expert in an area? Maybe it takes qualification, maybe years of experience, I don't know. But I have been in this area for quite some time. Not really for quite some time, but I've been here because I did accounting through my junior school to my senior school and tertiary. That's finance and accounting. And then right now I'm schooling and I'm working at the same time, and I am working in one of the big four accounting firms worldwide. So with my experience and my expertise, I just thought that maybe I should come on here and we have a journey together. Just a disclaimer before we go anywhere, I am not a billionaire, okay? But we are in the making, me and you. So we're going to talk about the money language, we're going to talk about expenses, income, revenue, everything you need to know about finance and accounting. The greatest investment you can ever make is that of investing in yourself. That's why I've been talking about self-development and everything, because if you don't know your worth, finance becomes a problem in your life. And this is why we're going to talk about, for a start, we're going to talk about personal development. And then we're going to introduce the business aspect as we go along for you entrepreneurs out there and everything, those who hustle, you know, I got you. So if this sounds interesting to you, before we go anywhere, just click that like button, because you are really helping me reach as many as I could. Like I said, personal finance is a backbone for every success story, okay? You look at successful businesses, you look at successful people, they all began by managing their finances. And maybe you might say this is kind of irrelevant to you as an entrepreneur or anything like that. I mean, it's not irrelevant, because you start by managing your finances, it affects everything you are doing. In fact, the principles are the same. The principles that applies to personal finance, they're the same as those that apply to business finance. And this is why we're going to talk about the elements of financial statements, okay? I know that mostly when we talk about the elements of financial statements, that is the assets, the liabilities, equity, expenses, and income, we normally talk about the business financial position and income statement and all other things, okay? And so for a start, we're going to take the same principles and apply them to our lives, because if you don't know how to manage your finance, like I said, it affects everything else. Every other thing in your life, you find that some of your relationships are really suffering, not because you are a bad person, but because finance is a problem. Now, something that pains me a lot, something that I see every day, I see my colleagues, I see my friends, I see my relatives, I see people in my society, I see people in my nation, I see people worldwide, is the fact that we are working so tirelessly. Some we have no sleep at all, but at the end of the day, guess what? When we receive our money, when we receive our paycheck, we are quick to spend it than to invest or save or anything of that matter. And therefore, this is why I am like, you know what? I am not blaming us. It's because of the education system, I would say, but we're not even blaming it either. I would say we take responsibility for what's going on in our lives, okay? The fact that somebody didn't teach you something doesn't mean you should remain without knowledge, if that makes sense. It means that you have to seek knowledge, find it, understand, apply it, and that is when we say you are a wise person. So I am just saying the education system is built in such a way that they don't really teach us the reality of life, not only finance. I'm talking about all other topics we learned from school. They're not really life based. I would say mostly we just learned in order to pass our exams, move on to the next level, pass exam, move on to the next level. So one thing that our education system taught us is investing, is saving, is money management. But the question is, how do we do it? How do we really manage our money? How do we really save? How do we invest? What is investing in stock markets? Can you take me through the journey? Can you teach me? Can you tell me the advantages, the disadvantages? Can you give me the benefits, the risks involved, everything I need to know? So this is just me having you, honey, because we're going to explore together, get to learn about money and have a good time. One of the things we're going to talk about as well is career and entrepreneurship, because most people believe that for you to be successful is when you own a business or you are an entrepreneur, but that is not entirely true, because there are people who are successful employees. So we're going to talk about career building. How do you get noticed in your job place? How do you get from one level to another? How do you get promoted? How do you get noticed? And then we're going to talk about entrepreneurship on the other hand, having to take business risks, what's involved and everything. And therefore I believe that there are three types of people. I believe that there are people who are, I call them career people. You are an employee, you make a living out of your employment, and you strive to get noticed. And obviously it involves having to have required qualifications, advancing in maybe from your degree to your master's to your PhD and to everything. And then there are those who kind of are successful employees basically, and not people who are successful as employees, trust me. And then the second one is what I call entrepreneurs. Okay, these are the ones who are really for business. They have a business idea, they go all out, they're willing to fail, to learn, to go through every process that their business is taking them through, and then they become successful in their entrepreneurship journey. And then there are those who are both. Okay, you are an employee and you own a business as well, so you can be successful at both. But there is a time in life, or there is a point in life where you would need to kind of give more attention to the other, and there is a point in time where you're just solely going to leave the other one and be committed to your business or whatever. And mostly for this batch is where their business, sometimes their business is positively correlated to their employment, and to some you're just doing something different, like as an employee, and you're doing something different in your business, like offering different services that you are not qualified for. So it happens like that. And I have seen people fail at both. Okay, we're not just going to talk about success and really not be real about life. Like I said, we are talking real stuff here. There are people who have failed at employment. I'm talking about people who are still working even now, but it's not really benefiting them, okay? And then there are people who have given up to their working or to their jobs and everything because they have fear to pursue that which they have a skill in. Let me say, those who are afraid to follow their passion and their creativity, only because if I fail at this, maybe it's singing, maybe it's playing drums, maybe it's running or athletics, if I may say, maybe it's just baking cake or something. You have the skill, but you're afraid to go after it, and therefore you stick to your job, and at the end of the day you're just working and nothing is going on, nothing is changing, no savings, no investments. Your portfolio is just the same, and therefore, or maybe you don't even have a portfolio at all, because having to go to a workplace every morning doesn't mean you have a financial stable source of income. Okay, and therefore I have seen people also fail at businesses. Some people take a long time for their businesses to take off because they got something wrong, learn along the way. And there are people who kind of have failed at business because their business idea isn't so great. There are people who have failed because their business idea isn't really in line with who they are or their purpose. And therefore, if you are doing something that's so far from your purpose, you have to check yourself, because it's not really gonna work. You are forcing yourself to be something you are not. And then I have seen businesses fail as well. And like I said, even though we are talking about personal finance rather, it doesn't mean that as an entrepreneur at this stage you are not relevant to the channel. You are so much relevant. In fact, what we're simply doing, we're taking the business aspects and the business terms and the business principles, and we are applying them to our lives. And then we are going to talk about, like I said, the statement of financial position, commonly known as balance sheet. We're going to talk about statement of profit and loss, commonly known as income statement. We're going to talk about the statement of changes in equity, because equity is so much important. Actually, your value, we value your life by the equity you have. Okay, if we're to take millionaires and billionaires and the whatever nears, you would really learn that it's not really their, like, when you call them a millionaire, it doesn't mean that they have like a millionaire cash. Okay, it means that the value of their assets, they equate to such a valued amount, and therefore that's equity. So equity is the base. If you have equity, you have it. And therefore, we're going to talk about the changes in your equity. We want to see an improvement in your changes in equity, okay? We don't want to see you dropping down. We don't want to see your value going down, but we want to see you building a portfolio that at some point in life, you will reach that point where you are now successful money-wise, and you're like, you know what, I am able to live a comfortable life. And then we're going to do such calculations as like how much it takes for you to be, or how long can it take for you to be a millionaire, and what does being a millionaire or a billionaire really mean. You know, let us talk some tangible stuff, honey. So this is all we're going to talk about, and I'm so excited, guys. I'm so excited for this, because it's more like my school, my work, everything is linked to this. And so this is just so awesome. And then we are going to talk about also cash flows. Very important, cash flows. Cash inflows, cash outflows. We're going to talk about such, okay? We're going to talk about budgeting. How do I really budget? Like, every time I budget, I don't stick to my budget. How can I really stick to my budget? And what really does budgeting entail? As you can see, some good stuff coming. And I can hear you clicking that subscribe button. And we're going to talk about when we prepare the financial statements for a company, we have what we call the 5 aspect, which is notes to the financial statements. Okay, notes to the financial statements. And this is really good. This is more like the explanations to why, you know, why the movement and everything, or the variances. So to our lives as well, I believe there should be notes to our lifestyles. That is to say, who am I and where am I going? What's happening in my financial position? What changes do I need to do? We're going to have notes to financial statements as well. I can just feel it coming, honey. It's just gonna be so good. Now, this is a point where I ask you the most important question, okay? If we are to draw financial statements of your life, that is to say, if we are to draw a balance sheet or an income statement or a profit and loss account, would your life balance? It is either it balances or it doesn't. And if it doesn't balance, then there's a problem, because there should be a balance in everything we do, okay? Not only balance in terms of income, in terms of expenses, in terms of assets and everything else, but balance in your lifestyle, a balance in who you are, a balance in your relationships, a balance in you giving out, a balance everywhere. One financial statement that balances is the balance sheet. That's the only one. Everything else affects the balance sheet. So if something's wrong with the income statement, the balance sheet won't balance. If something's wrong with the cash flow, or if something is wrong with the statement of changes in equity, the balance sheet won't balance. And so we have to strike a balance in everything we do, in our finances, in our expenses. We don't have to spend more than we earn, because that is the Oh, wait, that is something that's painful because people spend more than they earn. People are trying to prove some points to people. You are trying to impress people by your lifestyle, just living beyond your means, guys. This is why I just want to tell you the aim of this channel. The aim of this financial aspect of the channel is simply to help you draw a financial vision, have financial goals in place, live within your means, and have or achieve financial freedom. That's all, simple as that. Because we need to reach a point where we have freedom financially, a point where you are not afraid to go to Dubai for a trip, a place where you are like a free bed and you're able to fly, you're able to do everything, you're able to take such trips, you're able to provide for your family, you're able to have kids, you're able to get married, you're able to do everything to do with the money. Because like I said, money is the base for everything. We're going to talk about income and everything. And income, I'm not only talking about salary. Let us just open our minds just a bit, because when we're talking about income, we're not talking about your salary. Actually, some people, you are slaves to your salary, and you are slaves, like, it's bad to say this, but it is. Like I said, you can be successful, you can be in a trap, more like a prison or something. And therefore, we're not just going to talk about salary. You have to have at least minimum of 7 sources of income, just 7 streams of income as a human being, and for you to be successful and comfortable like that. And therefore, we're not only going to talk about salary and that. We're going to talk about interests. How can you earn money just by having interest? And that entails investments. How can we're going to talk about bonds. We're going to talk about dividends. Let it not be something you hear from people. It's something that's doable. You can do it. You can just go to a bank and save, and have fixed deposits, have interest coming in every 3 months and everything. So you are able to invest on the stock markets, stock exchanges. You are able to invest, and it's so easy, guys. You can invest as little as $100 and it can make you some money. So you start there, you invest some more, you get interest, compound interest in. These are the things that we're going to talk about. Things that can really give us money. You invest in something, you leave the money for 10 years. When it comes, you know what, you have gained even double or triple the money. So guys, there's more to this life. There's more to finance. There's more to our monies. There's more to life. And I'm so excited that I'll be taking this journey with you, because I just don't want you to work so tirelessly, doing everything in order to impress your boss. Then your life is stagnant and you're not going anywhere. With that being said, guys, I thank you so much for having watched this video to the end. This video was a bit lengthy because of the introduction of everything else. By the way, I create videos every single week. Every Tuesday, you should be tuning in to find a video on personal development, on either faith or on finance. And I am so glad to be taking this journey with you. Until I see you next time. Bye.